What's up? Peace, light, and love. Priestess Shakesha Divine dropping in for that cosmic check-in. Raising that frequency up just a little bit higher than what it was. Definitely got them bells that help in fine-tuning that frequency, raising it up, breaking up all of that stagnant energy. Want to give so much love, so much thanks, so much gratitude for all of the divine supports that are assisting in delivering this message for our highest and greatest good. I'm going to call on the Archangel Gabriel to assist me in being a clear and intuitive channel. So much gratitude for the Archangel Gabriel too. Got a lot of things that's going on in these cosmic streets. We go talk about them real quick. Spirit has definitely came through with a message on the tarot, and then I'm going to go through with each individual sign so that we can really get some clear guidance on how we can navigate this energy best. We got a lot of situations that's going on right about now with this equinox and everything that's really allowing us to see a lot of truths as we close out these cycles. I want to give some encouragement that a lot of these things that we're facing right about now, they're happening for us, not to us. So allow Spirit to do its work in our lives so that we can be more in alignment with the authentic direction that we're going to be in, that's going to really work for our highest and greatest good. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on with this particular energy, because the last time when we talked, the sun was in Virgo, right? Now that sun is all about inspiring us, right? It's how we shine our light in the world. When it was in Virgo, we was dealing with details, health and wellness, our service to others and everything. And so the sun was really inspiring us to check in on those particular areas and aspects in our life. Well, right now the sun is inspiring us to check in how we shine our light and how we dealing with balance, because Libra is the energy of balance, right? Libra energy is very happy, friendly, just energy, right? Libra energy can be very perceptive, right? And Libra is absolutely the energy of partnerships, of marriages, right? Of all of our connections, right? Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic connection. It can be platonic connections, right? Business relationships. It even deals with those individuals that are your open enemies, right? Dealing with all of those partnerships, dealing with that balance, right? Asking us some tough questions at the end of the day. Are we putting in more than we giving out? Or is it vice versa, right? So this is really a time for us to really get into a space where we heighten our perception, right? Raising the frequency up on how we're seeing this world so that we can come to some honest conclusions as we move towards the 2025 year, which will be that vibration of a 9, because what we in right now is the 8th year. Now, that 8th year, it deals with karmic cycles, right? Because if you look at the 8, it looks like that infinity, right? And that deals with that karmic energy. But 8 also deals with transformation, right? Very transformational. It deals with opportunity, success, with karma and everything. And so this is an opportunity for us to really get clear on where we're going. And so right now at this particular time, at this particular check-in, the sun is pointing at Libra, asking us to look for those spaces and places within our life where we can find that balance. And so this is what the Page of Swords is coming in about, right? Because the Page of Swords, when the Page of Swords shows up, right? The Page of Swords, it's that youthful energy, right? This is that energy that speaks truth to power, that stands up for justice and whatnot, right? And so this Page of Swords is really talking about us really connecting with that go-getter energy that's within all of us, right? This is about making sure that we stepping into our power, our confidence, right? Because this is what's going to be key to us moving forward. See, what we got to do is we got to come up out of this struggle, right? This thing where we always feeling like there's a change in something for us to go through, right? And how we do that is by finding that balance within our life. We got to come up out of this whole particular energy of discord and hastiness and all of this type of, mischief making within our lives, right? Because see, if we ain't about the business of what it is that we doing, we about the business of what we ain't, right? And so this is why that Temperance card is coming in the reverse, right? Letting us know that we got to rebalance the scales within that relationship, right? The relationship that we have and how we process in our world, in our perceptions. You understand what I'm talking about? Because if not, you turn into this Queen of Wands. When the Queen of Wands show up in reverse, that's drama queen energy right here. See, this how you find yourself in trouble. This how you find yourself in the middle of all these gossip sessions, right? All of these trash talking sessions and everything is when you stepping into that particular energy, because you in this particular energy thinking that things ain't available for you. You got to go through a change. You in this struggle. Everything's a struggle for you. You holding on to that expectation and everything, shifting the way your reality shows up in your life. And so what Spirit is asking you to do is check in. What needs to happen? Where do you need to be spending your time a little bit more wisely so that you about the business of your grind, so that you standing in your confidence? When you standing in your confidence, when you standing in your power, right? This is when you're in that space where can't nobody take you up off your square. And then you ain't got to worry about whether or not you being received or not and everything, because you got a higher mission and a purpose. And this ain't taking you into these spaces where you feeling like this is your ongoing life story. This is how it always goes down for me. They just don't like me. Nobody wants to be my friend. Be your own friend. Step into your power, because after that, at the end of the day, you ain't doing no better than the rest of these cats out here in the streets. You a drama queen, just like the rest of the sucker MCs that's out here. And we here to raise our frequency up just a little bit, because we ain't got time for the foolishness and the games that's out here. We about the business of ascending, right? So let's talk a little bit about how we go deal with this particular energy, because see, this equinox energy, oh yeah, it's a little special, right? See, because at the equinox, the sun appears directly above the Earth's equator. Now in September specifically, right, the Earth is moving from north to south as it crosses the equator. That brings the summer into the southern hemispheres at the bottom and the winter into the northern hemispheres at the top. Now the days of night are approximately equal in length for the entire planet, right? Not completely, but approximately equal. Everybody is in this state of checking in on balance. You understand? So this is about that masculine and feminine. Masculine and feminine energy, my bad, the light and the dark, the yin and the yang, right? This is all about checking in on balance, because this word equinox, it comes from that Latin word Aqueous, right? Aqueous means equal, and then nox, it means night. And so when we put that together, it means equal night, right? And so this right here, this whole phenomenon that happens within, because it's a little different than like the solstice energy and everything. We at a different point right here. And this is because the tilt of the planet, right? It's about at what, something like 23.5 degrees. Yes, 23.5 degrees. They trade places on the poles, right? And so at the solstices, they indicate like the greatest and the least amount of tilt, right? Right. So whether or not, you know, it's furthest away or closest to the tilt. You understand what I'm saying? But the equinoxes, see, and I want to talk about this energy because, see, the solstice energy is more of an extreme energy, right? But these equinoxes are balancing energy. See, this is why I have to explain how this energy is flowing so that we can really catch how we can work with this, right? The solstices, they indicate our greatest tilt towards the sun, right? But the equinox or the least tilt, let me go back and make sure I clean that up, right? But the equinoxes, right, they fall midway in between the solstices, right? This is helping us find the balance, right? And so when we start moving into that autumn time, right, we start noticing that dawn is a little bit later, and then the sunsets is a little bit earlier, right? But the thing that I think I like the most about this particular time of year is that beautiful dance that nature does out here in these streets, y'all. It goes down. So when you out there walking in nature, all you observed it. This is why this happens to be one of my favorite times of the year. No, it is my favorite time of year because we get to see the plants do its thing before they close it out for the winter retreat. What they do, they change them leaves up, right? They shift from green to yellow to orange to red, giving us this beautiful, beautiful arrangement before it makes its exit for that winter season. So this is a very, very powerful time to find that balance, to find that equanimity within your relationships, within your connections and everything, and do a beautiful and yet graceful bow out as you move into the next cycle of your life. So this is a most auspicious time to be alive. And if you have not been out there like really paying attention to how the animals have been talking out here, y'all, it has been going down. Spirit animals been showing up. I've been seeing turkeys, bats, hawks, crows, you name it, man, they've been showing up. The hummingbird has been coming through in effect. And I mean, I just got to tell you, it's been going down. I close my eyes, a dolphin jumps up. You know what I'm saying? It has been going down. And so all of these spirit animals, with them coming through so profoundly, is really letting us know they got some messages to say. So what we go do, we go through each individual zodiac, right? See what the spirit animal message is. We gonna talk about this because that sun in Libra is really, really assisting us, really giving us the high five, an alley-oop to really get in here and really make it right for ourselves. So let's make sure we get in this business. Let's start off with Libra. Since we in Libra season, right, let's go ahead and set it off with the Libras and see what we dealing with. Because Libra, this whole shift that we're doing, coming up out of this struggle and everything so that we ain't falling into this drama queen energy, right, where we finding ourselves as the person that's always going through the change. This is really happening around ourselves, right? See, this is about like checking in on how you showing up in this world, right? Your general state of health, right? Even your personal appearance. Check out in the mirror. You like what you see? You good with that and everything? But this is also really asking us to check in on that personality signature, those quirks in your personality and everything, right? If you finding yourself in continuous conflicts all of the time, Libra, maybe we want to check in on some of those things that might be offensive to other people. But let's see what the spirit animal have to say right about now. Boom. The electric eel is coming in here, right? And when the electric eel comes through, it really asks us to really start being a little bit more receptive as we move forward, right? Because if we're really working on like having this harmonious life and everything, right, we got to make sure that we're in this space where we can accept all of the minor stuff that doesn't matter, the minutia that goes on around us, right? Being able to accept that the devil can be in the details sometime, and really getting into this space where we can move forward without it stealing our joy and everything. The electric eel comes through reminding us about bringing our ideas to life, right? Because a lot of times there's creative solutions in the way that we operate, and right? But we just don't bring it about. We let it swim in our mind all of the time, right? And so this electric eel is definitely coming through with this whole thing about what is your vision, right? What is your vision for your most harmonious life, right? But you got to look within and bring it to life. And what happens, it starts with the self. And so this electric eel was really reminding you that all of these great ideas, what you got for your exercise regimen, what are some things that you can just spice up your dressing, revamping the closet and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Checking in on how you know, the tone that we using when we speaking and everything. See, this idea, bringing that ideas to life, you got them ideas. And so this electric eel was coming through, just letting you know, go ahead and make it happen for yourself. All right, let's talk it. Scorpio, let's talk about it. The rabbit is coming through. The rabbit is coming through, letting you know that it is an absolute lucky time. Now, this is really cool because this is showing up in your house of material goods, right? This is about, this is showing up for the Scorpio rising, right? This is about where your values is at. This is about checking in, making sure that you don't find yourself in this consistent state of victimhood, of being this person that's always going through a change, right? You know, always having this drama that's going on in your life. This is about checking in with your material, right? Your finances, right? Your attitudes towards your money and how you going about spending it and everything. Now, this rabbit is coming through letting you know that now is a lucky time, but this is also a time for you to make sure that you about the business of learning the mistakes that you caught from the past, right? And being wise and operating with integrity as you move forward. This is what's going to help you really be able to hold that lucky time that's coming down for you and really make it rock as you moving forward. You coming up out of the struggle, Scorpio. I like that a lot. It's a lucky time. Let's talk. Okay, who's next? The Sagittarius is next. The Sagittarius is next. The chameleon is coming through. For you, Sagittarius, what needs to happen? Well, the chameleon's coming through saying that you need to just act as if, right? Because, see, this is all about how you communicate out here in this world, right? Sag rising. This is about how you communicate. This is about, like, how you process in this world, too, at the end of the day, right? Your community, how you connecting with your community, how you showing up. Because this chameleon is coming through reminding you that you got to step into your power, and that got to be the business that you about, right? This has got to be the way that you move. You can't be stepping into your power one day and then not so much the next day. No, you got to be about the business of your power, right? So this chameleon's coming through, Sag, reminding you that if you really want to show up and communicate who you are out here in this world, right, you got to really check in on your intellect or your mental attitudes and everything, right? How you connecting with folks in your community and everything. And are you showing up in that way, or are you just showing up going through changes? Up to you. You get to do it. But the chameleon wants you to know that if you act as if, you can eliminate that whole struggle. Yeah. Okay, let's talk with the Caps. Capricorn, what we talking about right now? See, the Capricorn really wants you to, hey, listen. You're going to have to speak up. See, you keep finding yourself in these dramatic energies, right? You keep finding yourself feeling like you're getting the short end of the stick. But this is happening around your household. You know what I'm saying? Your support system at home and everything. Family can really do it, though, can't they? They got you like that. You know what I'm saying? But this is also dealing with like a lot of the early childhood conditioning. We want to check in on that, right? Making sure that we ain't following the blueprint from the teaching that somebody else gave to us and everything, right? And so this armadillo is coming through, reminding us about setting that healthy boundary. And how we do that is by really expressing where we at in this world, right? We ain't just go sit around with this dark cloud over our head, not saying nothing and everything, finding out that we just finding ourselves in situations where we keep going through struggles and changes, and that's because you ain't speaking up. And so the armadillo coming through telling you, Cap, you got to make sure that you setting them healthy boundaries. We know you can do it. That's what you do, right? Okay, let's get it. All right, now let's talk about these Aquariuses. Aquarius rising sun, man, let me tell you. Let's talk about this. The vulture coming through. The vulture coming through, letting you know, like all of these changes that you've gone through, nothing has been wasted, right? This is really have gotten you into this space of harmonizing in your life, right? Being able to be yourself, express yourself authentically, right? Being true to who you are and having the wisdom, right? To know the difference of like being who you are in what degree, let's say, right? Like we ain't really showing up in our sexual energy when we visiting grandma, right? Like we know what self to bring out and everything. And so this vulture is definitely coming in, right? Reminding us that nothing is wasted, right? Because see, all of these things that we went through, all of these setbacks, they definitely set up so that you can come up a little bit later. So this vulture is coming through, just reminding you, Aquarius, that nothing nothing is wasted. But what you got to really check in on is what's really bringing you joy in your life. What makes you happy? Where's your, what really lights you up at the end of the day? How can you tap into that childlike faith, that childlike creativity? What makes you giggle like a child at the end of the day, right? Because this is the direction that's going to help you to be able to raise your frequency up so that you don't find yourself in the struggle all of the time, finding yourself in the middle of the drama all of the time. The spirit wants you to know that nothing is wasted. And so this vulture is coming through, just reminding you about those situations, those times that you went through. They came through to be lessons. They happened for you, not to you. So yeah, make sure that we really clear on that, Aquarius. And I hope that helped you out. So let's see, Pisces, let's deal with this. Let's deal with this. Now listen, we just came up out of Virgo season, and this is something that you really, and then that eclipse that was all up in Pisces and everything. And so this is coming through with this bobcat energy, right? Checking in, letting you know you got to stay on your grind. You definitely got to stay about your business. You keep your nose to the grind, okay? And don't be worrying about folks that ain't catching it. They ain't feeling it. They don't understand it. They don't get it. They the naysayers. They got something to say all of the time. You find yourself in this balanced space so that you don't find yourself sitting around all charged up by other foolishness that don't even matter at the end of the day. The bobcat came through to remind you about life being a mystery. See, why it's looking one way this way, right? It turns into another way. See, this is bringing in that energy of 8, which is the year we in. It deals with opportunity and success, but it also deals with karma. And now that we in this month, it deals with Libra, that asks us to check in on where that balance is and how we can bring justice into our lives, right? This is really coming in here to remind you that life is a mystery, but you got to make sure that you staying diligent. You staying about the business. You staying so focused and so firm on your square. You ain't wavering and you ain't letting the naysayers do what they do, because see, there's mysteries, deeper truths that's going on out here at the end of the day. The bobcat said, don't you worry about it. Keep it moving. All right, Pisces. I hope that helped you out, because this is really speaking to about your competency level, right? Your skill, whether or not people think you can make your dreams come true, right? Whether or not they think you can make your wellness goals, right? You go lose that weight that you were supposed to be losing. You go quit smoking or eating that way or drinking or whatever it is that you said you was go release and all of that other stuff. Don't you worry about all of that. It's a mystery, baby. You stay on the grind. Be encouraged. All right, I had to go back against fear. Say, oh, we ain't done with that. All right, now the Aries, let's talk about this, because see, we are really go be embracing this energy, right? So here goes this dog that's coming through, reminding you about having that creativity, that confidence, right? Making sure that you are in that authentic space, that you're really paying attention. You stopping, you looking, you listening, right? You using some wisdom as you navigate these streets. This is going to help you tap into that godlike power. But you got to make sure that you being loyal to what you love, right? Not letting people take you up off of what it is that you doing and everything, so you feeling like you ain't a part of the crowd. See, here's what I just heard. Fear of missing out. FOMO. You understand what I'm saying? And see, this dog spirit is coming through, reminding you about being loyal to what you love, right? Because this energy is really going to be impacting you in the areas of your relationships, your connections and everything. See, where this sun is at, you're going to be feeling a little bit of extra dose of this Libra energy, that balance, right? And so this is really encouraging you with these open conflicts. You know what I'm saying? How you identifying with others and everything. If you don't love it, then baby Aries, do not do it, love. Do not do it. You only show up if you love it. And when you loyal to what you love, this is what's going to help you in raising your frequency. And you ain't going to have time for none of the other foolishness out there, because you ain't showing up for stuff you hate. You only loyal to what you love. You see? That's how easy that is. All right, Aries, let's keep it moving. I hope that helped you out. Man, All right. The Taurus is coming through with, hold on, the Coyote spirit. The Coyote spirit, Taurus. The Coyote comes through bringing this reminder that we trust in divine detours. And this is really awesome because, see, this sun is shining, asking you to check in on your transformation. How you have been interacting in this world. See, when this Coyote comes through about divine detours, this is about like really stepping into a place of consciousness, like awareness is where I'm going. Awareness, right? Where we are assessing like all of those parts within our lives where we need to step into our power, where we need to harmonize, how we can bring that all together, right? So that we can really start moving in ways that's really working for us and not against us, right? And this right here is really encouraging us, right? To really begin like diving deep within ourselves and like really looking into those hidden truths that we have, allowing some more transformation to go within our lives. And see, when we start doing that, when we start really beginning to move into this space of trust, we open ourselves up so the spirit can really begin delivering us some guidance, right? This is when we start seeing a lot of abilities come online. So Taurus, you better watch out for that as well, right? Because this is when a lot of those abilities start coming on in line and everything. Oh yeah, and then also watch, because your libido is probably going to rise up too, because we are, not only that, we just moved into where the Venus energy is in, you know what I'm saying, is in Scorpio as well. And then a lot of this energy is going to be surrounding that particular energy for you as well. Always looking at the other end of the energy spectrum. So this Coyote coming through, reminding you to trust in them divine detours, man. This is all about shifting your focus, because when you focused on this and not focusing on this, then you ain't involved in this and this. You see what I'm saying? See, this is all about us shifting our focuses, trusting these divine detours. I promise you it's working for you, not to you. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, let me see. Who is next? We got them Geminis that's coming through. Now, the Gemini, of course, you know, y'all like to talk. Jupiter is in Gemini and everything, but this is really about you making it your business to really start changing how you moving and start moving in integrity out here in these streets, Gemini. Now, if you doing that, congratulations. But this period is really coming through encouraging that we watch our words. And this may be even about how we phrase things, right? The questions that we ask, you know what I'm saying? Maybe some of these questions may not even be necessary at the end of the day, right? But this period is coming through, really encouraging us to really make sure that we make that like a solid foundation or process on how we go about doing business. It's going to bring a lot more stability within our lives, right? Because when we start really becoming a little bit more discerning, a little bit more discriminative, right, of the things that come up out of our mouth, when we starting to use just a little bit more wisdom with the words that we're using and everything, this is when we start noticing some major shifts start happening in our life. This is when we start achieving a lot of the success, the connections, the things that we've been wanting to manifest within our life. This is when we start recognizing how that happens, how we communicate out here in these streets, Gemini. That's really going to assist us along our journey. And the way that this is showing up for you, this is about you really shifting on like how you're processing this world, right? Your philosophy and everything, right? A lot of the things that, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the things that have been like instinctual for you, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you making some changes, you know what I'm saying, in your mind, and you're not really seeing things. I'm hearing Frankie Beverly, I made some changes in my head. I don't feel the same no more. Yeah, there we go. And this is all about you really, really checking in with watching the way that you are phrasing the words that's coming out of your mouth. When you make that adjustment, this is when you're going to start seeing some real victory, some major shifts in your life. Stick to it. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, we dealt with that. Now we go deal with the Cancers, because see, the Cancers, This is all about dealing where your reputation is at, right? And this is about like laying that vision for harmony, being able to harmonize all of those aspects within your life. And so when this beaver comes in, reminding you about foundations, right? Because Cancer is definitely that Cancerian energy. Oh, we know about that foundation, right? That's that home energy, right? That's that supportive energy and everything, right? And so Cancer coming in here, building that house. So Cancer being encouraged to lay a solid foundation in that area, right? Where your career, your profession, your reputation, let's put it that way, right? The things that you are acquiring, your worldly ambitions, right? Your life goals, right? How folks know, what it is that you do out here in these streets, right? This is that area that's really asking you to check in and find where that balance is at there, right? And when you lay in a solid foundation for those things to like really flow right for you, this is when you start seeing the shift in the way that things flow. But this is all about you like moving more into that energy of prudence so that you can develop that structure, that discipline that's going to really allow you to bring those things that you want within your life. But this beaver is coming in, reminding you about laying that solid foundation. It's going to be your launching pad, and it's going to rock and roll. No doubt about it. Okay, let's see who's next. Who's next? The Leo. The Leo is coming through. And your 11th house. Now, listen, we're going to let you know something. You better pay attention to what's going on out here in these streets, right? This is about you really trusting your intuition, right? This is about you paying attention to all of them details, like watching how folks is moving, how they talking, how they sounding, how they walking. Because life is speeding up right now, and things is going to start happening so fast that you ain't going to know what's going on around you, right? But when you in tune with your star player, when you in tune with your intuition, you using the higher level of wisdom going on here, right? So now you ain't really worried about that because you trust in yourself. Life is beginning to speed up. And so you go find yourself in these situations, right? Where you out here and you trying to, express your ideas, express yourself. And it may not even be well received out here. And that's okay. You can't say that this is just the way that your story and your life goes and everything. Because with this life is speeding up, this is all about paying attention, using that wisdom, right? Because the wisdom that you bringing through the table, right, is really going to allow you to recognize what's real out here in these streets. And so then you're not finding yourself where you in this struggle and everything, where you find yourself in drama and all types of other madness and everything. Because as life speeds up, you start realizing how little time you got for that foolishness, right? And you start moving the heck on to things that's more worth your time and effort, because you about the business of your grind. You ain't got time for the foolishness because life is speeding up. Okay. All right, now let's get that. I like that a lot. So let's talk about these Virgos. Man, I got to tell you something. Virgos, this is definitely going down for you in some profound ways, right? Some profound ways. Because, see, this is coming through on this energy where you go learn about your blind spot. You gonna learn about finding that balance in your personal unconsciousness, right? A lot of things you thought they was, you gonna get enlightened on that. You gonna learn about your secret enemies. You go check in on your relationships, no doubt about it, and learn who the is and the ain'ts. You gonna recognize what's going on in these unseen realms. And you go find the balance within that. And all of those things that you've been ignoring and letting ride and letting slide, Virgo. This is your time to check in and get it into balance. This wasp is coming through with this message to remind you that sometimes life stings. That's just how it goes. This is kind of the summary of this, right? But see, when you recognize that things happen to you Things are happening for you, not to you, my bad. Then you recognize that this is a part of the life, right? The obstacles, the challenges and everything. Ain't that a part of the hero's journey at the end of the day? And so in that whole situation, that sometimes life stings. So when you in the business of trying to work your vision, you got to recognize that as you go along and you build your foundations, that you building it on the lessons that you learned. Like there ain't no strength without the struggle, right? But this is really encouraging you now that you done caught that lesson, now that you understand that sometimes life stings, that your life ain't just this perpetual nightmare where the world is just putting his foot in your behind, where things just never work out the way they supposed to. And you find yourself in situations that you just didn't want to be in, and it's a disappointing situation. That you get to wake up to the reality that's just the way it works. So this is why this wasp is coming through, reminding you, Virgo, sometimes life stings. And you got to take the bitter with the sweet. Because it's not going to always work out the way that you thought it was. But what it does is it strengthens you. Now you got your G card intact. Your fears have been realized, and now it ain't so scary no more. You turned the light on in a dark room, and now you recognize that, baby, all that unknown, it ain't so scary after all. The devil goes away when you turn the light on. The light shines bright, and you get to see things for what they truly are. And sometimes the way that you was hoping that things would be, it may not be the way that it was, but recognize that truth is setting you up so that you can come up. That's what that is. The setback is a setup for the come up. Sometimes life stings during that whole process. Just like when you having a child. I heard that was very painful. It was for me. And so sometimes, but then at the end of the day, you got a whole new life at the end of the day. This life, this wasp is coming in here just reminding you about that whole particular energy, coming in on that number 64, which really talks and speaks to that whole situation, that whole energy, right? New cycle energy. Sometimes life stings. So when you close it out and you start anew, you got the truth on your side. And it's all good. So I hope that helped you out, Virgo. I hope that helped you out, everyone. This is going to be a powerful time. You make sure that you finding that balance in your life. When you staying about the business of what it is that you're doing, not letting folks bring you up off of your square, right? Then you make sure that you ain't finding yourself in these situations where you feel like you missing out. You got to compromise who you are. And you got to take on this whole energy of it being your life, your way of going about business, to consistently go through changes, and always got to go through a struggle and aggravation with folks in order to feel connected. You always got to go through a change in order to feel like you got some type of stability and peace within your life. It is not true. That is a lie of the enemy. I need you to know that. And when you step into that energy, you move into that Queen of Wands energy. But that Queen of Wands energy is not that bold and assertive energy we talking about. No, we talking about that drama queen that's sitting around looking for the things that's wrong within their life. You become that energy. You shift to a lower frequency, and you become that person that's on lookout for what could go wrong, the madness that could unravel within these streets and everything. And in order for us to shift our frequency, we got to really take that inspiration from the sun and how we shine in our light out in this world, finding that balance in our relationships, in our connections, so that we don't find ourselves in a consistent struggle. And then we act surprised and victimized like it's somebody else's fault. But now we releasing this whole responsibility right back to you. And Spirit is coming through, giving you the keys to the kingdom and allowing you to open the door. But that's only if you want to do that. You can come out the struggle if you want to. Let's close these chapters out being wise. I hope that helped you out. Peace and light. Peace and love.